Hi, Julie Torrens here. I've got my Amazon Basic watercolor book. They call it a book, it's really a tablet. I get these from obviously Amazon, and these are 9 inches by 12 inches. I cut it down to 8.5 by 11. I'm going to be working with you on making our dowels a little bit more shapely. Now, I'm going to use a technique partly from here, but of course I've made it my own. But this is a Jane Davenport book, and it's from 2018. But it shows you how to make these dolls, and we're going to be using some of the techniques from here. But I highly recommend this book. You can get it right from her website at janedavenport.com. I've got a handful of brushes, I've got a couple of pencils, and I've got some scissors, and I've got some printer paper as well. So let's get started. One of my brushes is shedding. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to fold a piece of paper in about to the halfway mark, or maybe even a third. It's not that important. And I'm going to draw, well, nope, I'm going to fold it again because I want two hearts that are the same. So here's how I folded it. About a third in of my 8.5 by 11, and then fold it in half. So right here on this edge, I'm going to cut a heart. Not even drawing it first, I am just cutting. Probably a little too big, we'll see. But I'd rather go big than small. Yeah, too big, that's okay. Put them back together. I'm gonna go just, I'll put this away. Go just a little bit smaller. And then I'll measure it and I'll let you know about how big I went. Yeah, I think this is still a little bit big. Well, you know what? I don't want to go much smaller because I want you to be able to see. So I'm going to turn my paper this way. And I realize you're not going to be able to maybe see the very tippy top or the very bottom, but that's okay. And now I think we'll be fine. Yes, we will. All right, now, so I've got this, I'm still on printer paper. This is the shoulders and the chest. This is the waist. This is our hips and the bottom of our trunk. So like the pelvis and all that, okay? Does that make sense? Can you even see them? Okay, what I'm gonna do, quickety quick, is I'm gonna take some of this scratch paper. I'm gonna take a Sharpie, a bigger Sharpie. And you don't have to do this. I'm just going to trace it out and hope that it makes it so that you can see it better. Okay. So how are you? I hope you're well. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Okay, there we go. So I've got two hearts. You won't have to outline them. I'm just doing that so that you can see. So now I'm just going to place these, and I'm just going to be drawing. I'm still on printer paper. I'm just going to be drawing them, and I'm going to give them a little. Now I'm not going to. You can do it straight up and down. I'm going to give the hips a little twist. Okay. Now I'm taking my pencil, and I'm going to outline. Not perfect, doesn't matter. They're just guides. And remember, a guide is just that. It's not the end all of end alls. All right, there is our doll. That's her hips, her waist, and her shoulders. Now, if you want to know where her bust line is, it's about half. So if you went from here to here, about half or a little bit higher, I'm just going to put a heart like this. Kind of the bust line, where it might be. All right, let's put our oval head in. And I just want to be mindful that you can see. Like that, okay? Now, I'm going to give her a throat. Now, when you give a throat, you can go ahead and put the line that we've just been doing. But I'm going to give it just a little more substance. Just a little more flesh. Now, here's the shoulders. You don't have to go way up high like that. Bring it down if you want. And just a couple shoulders here. Now, here is her, like I said, her bust line. And I'm going to outline kind of a dress. And like that. So can you see where we're kind of going with this? You can just sort of tell what's what. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give her some arms just like we're used to. Your arms are long. So about halfway into these arms, I'm going to put a circle. That's her elbow. Down here, I'm going to put a smaller circle. That's her wrist. So now I'm going to bring this arm out, but then back in towards the elbow, bring it out, back in towards the wrist. And now I'm going to do this shape. I don't know what that's called. It's a shape. So I'm going to do this arm the same. Bring this over to her elbow. And then bring it down towards that wrist. The wrist comes out a little bit, and I'm just going to do that same thing, okay? Now, this would be like your thighs part of it and your buttocks. So from here, I'm going to just bring down one leg. I'm going to bring down the other leg. And then I'm just going to, her knees would be, I'm guessing, about right in here. Whoops. Kind of lost track of where I was. A little out towards those knees. Okay. Now, her dress seems a little short to me. Now she's got a figure. So does that make sense? I know people want more detail, but more detail, it's more work. It's more studying. It's more kind of figuring it out. But let's just get rid of now all of our spare lines and see what we've got. See if we can deconfuse her. Just like that. And I'm using one of these white erasers. I think it's a polymer, some kind of a plastic, but it doesn't chew up the watercolor paper or this printer paper. Okay, now we took those shoulders down a little bit. She's a busty little thing. That's okay. So if I wanted to put in her bust line, I would, let's just go ahead and use this heart and give her dress just a little more shape. Get rid of that line in the middle of her throat. Can you see now how she's coming? And then I'm gonna bring in a waist just a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna give her a dress. So this could be the sleeve. And then bring her dress down. So now I'm going to get rid of this. I'm just, trying to make her the least amount of confusing as I can. But we're getting a nice shape, aren't we? There. Now, I'm going to move her up a little bit. We didn't put feet on, which is fine. But there's our little doll. What do you think? Do you like her? All right, well, I'm going to go right down here. This is my watercolor paper. Now, there's two ways you can do what I'm going to do. You can get, and really you need a softer pencil, and I'm reaching for this. It's a Patriotic Helpmate. It's a Faber-Castell, but I have no idea if it has a number. We've ground it off. I'm just going to take this and move this, bring back this is more printer paper, and I'm just going to put this graphite on the back of her. Now, if all you have is your number 2 pencil, go ahead and use it. I can sort of see her through. Now, we're not going to get a perfect copy, but we'll get guidelines again. I'm going 2 different ways. I think we're going to be okay with this. All right. Now I'm going to my watercolor paper. And again, I've got 8.5 by 11 on top of 8.5 by 11. I am just taking a regular old pencil and I'm going to start, and I'm giving it some pressure. Start drawing her in. So I've got extra lines here. Not going to put them all in. Just going for the outside. Now you can go and get anatomy books and, figure out where all the muscles are and all that. I think this is easier. I think 2 hearts is easier than that. But it gave me a guideline to where her shape would be. Now I'm going to move the whole thing up a little bit. Okay. And there is our guideline. What do you think? I say let's start painting, right? I've got these are my Rosa Gallery paints. They're made in the Ukraine. Use whatever paints you have. some kind of a paper that is designed for water. I do have an extra palette here. You don't have to have that. You can also just use a paper plate. I've got just a handful of brushes. Use what you have. Most of these, all of these are round brushes. So I'm going to grab this brush. This is a Grumbacher number 8. And I've got some color right here from the last video that I'm just going to use for her skin color. Why not? I think it's fine. And I'm going to start painting. It's kind of an ochre yellow, and I think I added maybe a little bit of orange. There's her neck and her head, her throat. Now you might say, well, you're going outside of your lines a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. Almost out of paint. I'm going to get some of that ochre. Was this color here, yellow ochre? And I think I added just like a touch of orange. May not be the same, I don't care. I'll start it with her legs. Maybe her legs got a little tan. I'm going to steal some pigment from over there, move it over here. Okay, now at the top of her legs, while it's wet, I am going to just go into my burnt sienna and I'm going to just touch up at the top because that's going to be kind of a shadow. Rinse, dab, dab, and just mix it in a little bit. Just like that. Okay, now we've got another arm. Go back into that yellow ochre. Just touch that orange. Ooh, see, the orange got wet from the first time I touched it. Okay, I think we're going to be a little bit dark. I just added some more water. So I'm working a little bit higher up here where I've got more water. I can just tell it's a little bit on the orange side. I'm just grabbing a little bit more of that yellow ochre. And let's see what we've got. And this hand or arm could be in the shadow. I'm going to add some of this darker color to the top of this arm and down the side of this arm. I have it. Might as well use it, right? I'm going to take the same color that's a little bit darker and I'm going to go under her chin. And right along her clothes. Okay, good. There she is. She's looking good to me. Now, this arm seems a little dark. I'm going to grab some paper towel. Brushes are going everywhere. They love to roll. Okay, this is just plain water. And I'm going to go on the outside here. And lift. Lift up some of that paint. See, I'm just taking my dry brush. And that way, I've got just a little bit lighter. Okay, good. I'm liking it. Whoops. And in the water I go. Dab, dab. And I'm going to blend this a little bit. Okay, she's looking good. How about her dress? Well, I've got some reds going on. I love a red dress. I've got this red and I've got that red. And I think I'm going to kind of mix them up. And I believe this is all this carmine. Add a little more. All right, carmine. I'm going to start right at the waist. And I'm just going to put like this, lines, and lines going up. Just like that. I'm going to add a little of this to the bottom of her hem. If it blends a little bit with the legs, I don't really care, because your legs would kind of reflect. I'm going to go right here at her neckline, and I'm going to go at the bottom of her, grab a little more pigment, the bottom of her sleeve, and a little bit of this darkness. Okay, now, same color, clean water, wet it down, and I'm just using this really watery color, and I'm going to fill it in and kind of blend some of this that's going to be a little bit darker. You can do this. I know you can do this. All right, same with the bottom part of the dress. A little bit of water. I've got some kind of pigment of red over here. Grab some of that. Little water. Grabbing some of that other red. Little bit of water. Now I'm going to go up at that hem. Okay, I'm liking it. I'm thinking it's looking good. Okay, now where I lifted this, I've got kind of a harsh line. I've got kind of a harsh line here. I'm just going in with water. Just plain old water. This is where having two wells, if my water that I'm using to rinse had gotten, you know, maybe I'd used some dark brown or something, then I would want to be going into that other source that's more clean. And I'm moving some of the darker pigment into the light. I'm moving some of the lighter areas, picking up. So I'm changing the whole look of it, but I like it. Little bit lined here. I'm gonna fill this in a little bit. I'm just using water. I'm just kind of getting rid of some of the harsh lines. There she is. Oh, yes, she is. She's looking good to me. I'm seeing some harsh lines coming up in the red here. I'm just blurring them out. I'm going to add a touch of red, but boy, we could get really way too dark with that. So I just literally water, touch, plenty. I'm going to add some more water. I'm just going to kind of go over the dress again. See if I can blur out some of these super harsh lines. Okay. Now there's going to be some swing and some movement to this dress. So I'm not, you know, I'm not getting all nervous about anything. There's nothing to be nervous about. I am just filling her in. She's dried a little bit light, so I'm just adding some more color. I'm going to define this a little bit. And this needs to come out a little bit. The sleeve needs to be a little bit further out than her arms. You know, I mean, unless it's like a tight dress, but nah. Nothing about this is tight. We're loose, loose, loose. I'm grabbing one dot I've just barely touched. And I want to just kind of define the edge. I just did again, one touch. Look at how dark it gets. And now water, dab, dab, bring it up. Just smoothing it out a little bit. I like it. What do you think? So now our doll has a shape, doesn't she? Just made with two hearts. How dry are you? Nice and dry. All right, let's get our pencil and I'm going to move you in. So hang on. Hang on. I had to move my light as well. All right, now I realize you can see even less. This is really quite wet, so I'm just going to avoid it with my arm if I can. Remember, about halfway is where her eyes are going to go. So, halfway between here and her chin. So I'm going to go just a little bit higher up there, and I'm going to give her the M. We'll do the M. We've done that before. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like a M. And now I'm going to, here is one of the points of that M. So I'm going to go right there, a little above her head, because our hair rises above our skull. And I'm just going to go like that and like that. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to grab my brush. And what hair color do I want? Let's give her this color. It's called English Red. Right there. So I'm going to grab a little English Red. Probably enough. And I'd say it's half a brush of water. I'm adding a whole brush of water. There we go. All right. Now I'm dab, because I don't want this paint to and just put the tip in. I don't necessarily want this paint to bleed and whoosh all over the place. And I'm going to outline the M and fill in her hair. If it goes bleeding into her dress, I don't care. I'll just make that into hair. Swung her hair out a little bit on this side, didn't I? It's all right. That's all right. We can do whatever we want. We're the hairstylist. Now, I'm going to leave her hair on the edge of her skull over there, but I'm going to bring her hair in just a little bit here. Just on her face a little bit. You can see how this color lightened up just in the time that I've been fussing with her. I am touching the burnt sienna. Touch. 2 touches. Touch. Okay. Now I'm just going to go, and it's going to bleed and blur a little bit right up here at the hairline. Our hair's always, I'm going to touch again. Touch. Our hair is always a little bit darker, close up to our face. And now I'm going to touch twice. Touch, touch. Here, right up next to her throat. There. And there. There's her hair. You can do this. All right. How about her face? Well, I'm going to grab a smaller brush. I'm grabbing my number 4 round brush. And I'm going into a blue. I've got bright blue, cerulean blue, ultramarine blue. We'll go with the ultramarine. And I'm wet my brush. Get the paint wet. Dab it off. Now, just my tip dragging in there. Her eyes are about half. So I'm going to give her an eye right here. And an eye right here. There's her little eyes. Now, mouth. I am going to grab red because she's got red lipstick. So brush is wet, but I dab. Now my carmine red that I started with, it's wet because I used it. So I'm going to just dup. That's it. 2 little dups. And I'm going to make 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to join I want them all 3 to match. There's her little mouth. Good. Okay. Now, I'm just going to let her dry a bit, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, she's nice and dry, and I am going to move her a little bit, and I'm going to bring you in even closer. I know. Hang on. You can stand it. Tip. Okay. Good. Now, grabbing a black Sharpie. I'm going to test it on the scratch paper. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. This one seems a little dry. Let's grab another one. We don't need to have disadvantages here. Better. Alrighty. Now, I am going to just do, and I've got this in another video, a little C shape, and then bring it up and over. Little C shape, bring it up and over. Nice. I'm going to give her a little nose like that, and I'm going to go up over the top of her lip, little like that, and maybe a little there. Oh, she's cute. I'm going to give her some eyelashes just here on the edge. And I'm going to give her a few down here. They're practically just dots. I'm going to give her an eyebrow. Gives you a lot of expression, doesn't it? All right, now I'm going to move you out again. But I wanted you to see the face so far. Now, there you are. Let's work on the rest of her. I'm going to lift my light up a little bit. All right. Now, just with my marker, I'm going to start with her bangs. And I'm just kind of following loose that M shape and just kind of giving it a few lines and just a few lines of her hair. This is where the mixed media comes in. I'm just going to outline this part of her face, but not the whole face. And I'm going to outline her throat a little bit. Nice. Very nice. And let's just now kind of sketch her in. I'm going to hold the back of my pen here, and I'm just going to sketch her in. Almost looks like a scrub dress, but you know, we're going simple. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Yep. Let me make sure you can see. Nice. I'm stopping at the hands, and we'll work together on those hands. Now, hands. We still want to go simple. Her thumbs are going to be in. So I'm just going to work a thumb, and then I'm just going around and a couple indications of a finger. That's all. We are not going nuts with these hands. This hand looks to me like it's more this way. There. Maybe a little of this. Maybe a little bit of detail, not too much. I'm going to just put a few lines indicating that her dress is a little bit gathered. And we're leaving her simple because I want you to not feel threatened. I want you to feel like, yeah, I can do this. All right. I'm going to grab my white gel pen, and I'm going to just go on each side of the blue of her eye. Just gives it a little light. And the blue is so dark, I don't think you would see a pupil. But I'm just going to put a white dot in the same spot on each side. I'm going to give a little white dot. It didn't white dot. I want a white dot. Oh, come on. There. Just to give her lips a little shine. I think I'm going to take this and just fill these buttons in. Just like that. All right. There she is. I know you can do this. Now, do I feel like this is a masterpiece that I'm going to go over to Michael's and spend $75 on a frame? No. But I'm going to start showing you how we can use these. In the meantime, though, I'm signing it, and this is 7 of 2024. I may just tip this, which means attach it to my art journal. Why not? If you like this video or you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. It helps my channel tremendously. Down here, there's going to be a video that's going to pop up. It's just for you. I'll see you over there.